We're now having a look at the Law Unit 1, Paper 1, 2019 paper. We're looking at this, just going over the answers. West Indian law and legal systems evolved from that of colonialism. Which of the following laws employs religious principles, criminalizing adultery? The source of law which rests on the rationale that the function of the judge is to decide the cases in conformity with existing rules. This is judicial precedent. Existing rules. Stare decisis. Which of the following shows the order of precedence in the courts? Let me just pass it water. Alright, so I believe so. The Caribbean Court of Justice will come last. So if you see the Supreme Court, well, the supreme source of law in the Commonwealth of the Caribbean is the written constitution. The chief legal advisor to the government is the Attorney General. A statements of law made where the case is not fully argued per inquirium. Right, and we saw this as well, the positive law. Right, which of the following is not an equitable maxim? Is it not justice is equity's darling? In one moment. I don't think it would be an equitable maxim. Justice is equity's darling. Number 10. The main feature which distinguishes a legal rule from a moral rule is that it can be enforced by the state. The rules of statutory interpretation are intended to assist courts in interpreting legislation. The mischief rule in statutory interpretation arises when the court wishes to determine the defects of a parliament. Parliament was trying to correct. Which of the following is not a reason for the creation of delegated and flexibility of the court system? Right, in Peter versus Marksman, Mitchell J commented, it's a comment, not a verdict, obiter dicta. Right, Paul was stopped by the police. This would be constitutional because the policeman held the man against his rights and everything just because he looked similar. Right, some constitutional provisions may only be changed by a special procedure. These provisions are described as entrenched. Right, the main feature of Commonwealth Caribbean Constitution, well, public law differentiates the United Kingdom's public laws because we have constitutional supremacy. Which of the following entities is the guardian of the Constitution? Would be the High Court of the Supreme Court. Right, so that would be the best answer. Which of the following is an executive function of the government? Deciding national policies. Zena. Civil infringement of our fundamental rights will go to the high courts. Right, which of the following prerogative orders compel performance? This is Mandamus. The statement, no man is above the law, is in rule of law. Hope everyone understands all of these. The Commonwealth Caribbean. In the Commonwealth Caribbean, the power of judicial review is conferred onto the Supreme Court by the Constitution. The Parliament of the Commonwealth Caribbean passes a law that provides the election of the Minister of Home Affairs to be responsible for the judiciary. Minister of Home Affairs, exec, judiciary, J can't overlap. L, E, and J should not overlap. SOP, well, should not infringe upon each other. That's the best thing to say. For the past 12 years, this will be like legitimate expectations. So these have been repeating for a good while. No rule of law. Permanent secretary is in the Ministry of Finance does not allow the steps. Does not follow the steps. This is procedural traverse. You need to follow them. he or she needs to follow the steps. The Minister of Education decides to uphold the principal's judicial review. The Constitution provides that the Public Service Commission may remove public officers, from office. The PSC dismisses Jane, the school teacher, from her job without explanation. Jane can claim that the PSC has breached substantive legitimate expectations. Wonderful. The court does not and cannot inquire into the merits of the minister's decision. This court can only examine the legality of the process adopted by the breach or to reach a decision. This is judicial review. Standard of proof is beyond reasonable doubt. Which of the following offense does recklessness classify as mens rea? This is involuntary manslaughter. Which of the following is an inchoate offense? Incitement is inchoate. Which of the following crimes is malice of a thought an essential element? This is murder. Which of the following is a defense that reduces the charge of murder to manslaughter? Provocation. It's really fine. When a person sustains fatal injuries whilst trying to escape from an apprehended assault by the accused is charged of sustains fatal injuries. Fatal. Doesn't this mean death? This is murder. Which of the following phrases is an element of the common law defined by murder? Unlawfully killing and rem natura under the king or the queen's peace. Please remember all of these things. Right? Even though it's unlawfully killeth, but it's fine. Alright? Stealing accompanied by the use of violence is robbery. Yeah, Mary stabbed John. I think this would be murder, but her thing would be decreased to voluntary manslaughter. So it depends on your interpretation. This is guilty of. We're seeing that most of these things start to repeat. Now, which of the following sentences is a juvenile offender most likely to receive rehabilitative sentences? Right? Which of the following situations best describes an assault under the common law? Mary threatens to fix Mary if she continues angry. So it's on threats. Shamar now, remember the 3 F's: force, fear, and fraud. Right? In which of the following situations could a person be liable for omission to act? This would be 1, 2, and 3. Right? There's one with the Patricia or something. P, it wouldn't be there. A party pleading insanity must prove both of these things. That doesn't make sense. 1 and 2. That is the end of the 2019 paper 1 for law, unit 1, public law.